headquarters of the French garrison, command is crumbling. Troops have been shelled by their own guns. A whole division has disintegrated. The reserves are being chewed up. Whether Verdun can be held seems doubtful. To give up Verdun seems unthinkable. The issue is settled by an order from the French High Command. Yield no more ground. A decision made for the slow-moving Joffre by the Viscount de Castelnau, his second in command. Joffre sends in a new commander, General Henri-Philippe Pétain. His orders, to save Verdun. Cool and formal in manner, Pétain has the confidence of his troops, the grudging respect of his fellow generals. Among them, he is a heretic, an apostle of defense. He is careful with lives. In a single week, Pétain musters 25,000 tons of supplies, 190,000 poilus, the soldiers of France. Their route is a country road along a narrow-gauge rail track, the only road still open. France calls it the sacred route, la voie sacrée. It calls their mission the glory of Verdun. The British strategist Winston Churchill will call it, in hindsight, a waste and a frenzy. During March of 1916, Verdun braces, behind artillery strengthened and regrouped by Pétain, behind forts that he has rearmed. Checked within sight of their target, the Germans begin throwing new divisions into the attack. Into the flames of Verdun, the Germans begin pouring a new kind of fuel, firing shells that release a new form of gas, a gas called phosgene, deadlier even than the chlorine they had introduced into warfare a year before. Henri-Philippe Pétain once wrote, "One does not use men to fight against materiel, but the defense of Verdun is consuming both in huge amounts. Attack is proving almost as costly as defense. 26 German divisions have shared in the burden of assault. A second fort has been captured, but Verdun itself still stands. It has only begun to exact its price." It is April 1916. To hold Verdun is not enough. Pétain is eased out, kicked upstairs to a higher command, to be replaced by Robert Nivelle, a more aggressive general, and Charles Monguin, a tough commander known as the Butcher. They do what Pétain has declined to do, not merely hold, but attack. They have thrown us into the Inferno, says a diary found on the battlefield. Verdun's appetite for men, for materiel, seems insatiable. In 5 months, an estimated 30 million shells have been fired. In 5 months, 150,000 French wounded, 70,000 dead. This, too, is an estimate. Headquarters holds back the actual figures, then loses count. The lists cannot keep pace with the losses. What Falkenhayn predicted is happening. The very lifeblood of France is ebbing away at Verdun. But something else is also happening. To keep up the pressure, the Germans must suffer terrible losses of their own. It is not just France that is bleeding. The Inferno must be stoked, and it consumes whatever is fed into it. The battle assumes a stubborn, stalemated life of its own, independent of all plans, futile and formless, a character of its own, which the soldiers struggle to define in their letters and diaries. I came up as a volunteer. I wanted to see Verdun and take part in the great battle. 150 of us left the bivouac. By the time we got up to the line, there were only 30 of us left, and we had not yet met the enemy. Oceans of mud, dark skies, like Golgotha at the hour Christ died. No trenches up here, only holes, and holes blown in holes, all filled with the stink of the dead. A nightmare with no morning to come. There will be no end to this until the last Frenchman and the last German hobble out of their trenches on crutches to exterminate each other with pocket knives or fingernails. So prophesies a German writer. It is late summer. After a flare of costly new attacks that make little headway for either side, an awful calm has settled over the battlefield. It is the calm of exhaustion. It is the calm of death. The ground of Verdun has swallowed up the lives of some 200,000 men, French and German. 2 men for every single foot of front. A carnage, a debris.